Mike Dell's World, number 132, for August 5th, 2009. I was going to say 2005. What's up with me?
Here comes some more of your medicine. You take it down with your river pen. It's gonna make you high. You feel just fine. Take it down with your nicotine and then lift up your self-esteem. It's gonna make you high. You feel just fine. And you will fly alone. Would you like some more alcohol to fill up all these empty holes? It's gonna make you high. You feel just fine. Take it down with your cocaine and then erase all this senseless pain. It's gonna make you high. You feel just fine. And you will fly alone. You will fly. Grab hold of the thirsty rights. Let me know when things are fine. I'm only here to serve your basic needs. Everything you feel can be free. And you will die alone. Here comes some more of your medicine. You take it down to the bitter end. It's gonna make you high. You feel just fine. Take it down with your cocaine to erase all this senseless pain. It's gonna make you high. You feel just fine. You will fly. You will fly. You will
And from Aerial Publicity, that was Brad Hammonds, and the song was called Medicine. You can go check that out by going to the website and checking out the show notes for episode 132. Hi, I'm Mike. Haven't done one of these in a while. Mike Dell's World. It's been kind of crazy busy with other podcast projects and other personal projects. Get you updated here a little bit. First thing, last weekend went to the Coast Guard Festival in Grand Haven, Michigan. That's the why do I keep saying after everything? I have to get over that. Anyway, the Grand Haven Coast Guard Festival is the biggest Coast Guard festival around. I think it's probably the only one. I'm not sure. But it's the one that all the Coast Guard bigwigs go to, and they had a bunch of ships in the harbor, or at the Coast Guard station there, I guess would be the more accurate. It's not really a base. It's one building in a little harbor off the river, the Grand River. Let's see. Down there, my wife's folks are deeply involved in the Coast Guard Festival, and they always have a big party over at their house. I think I've talked about that in years past. But anyway, went to the party and saw a bunch of old friends and met a couple of people, and of course some of the admirals from the Coast Guard were there, and that was kind of neat meeting them. And it's always different. Every year the admirals retire and new ones are appointed, and they all seem to make it over to Kathy's dad's house. So for the Friday night party, the last weekend of the festival. It's a 10-day festival or something like that. Then on Saturday, went to the parade. They have a big, huge parade. And, of course, Kathy's dad lives right along the parade route. So we all park at his house and go check it out. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, your typical festival parade. And did that, and we went home, not home, but went to where we were staying. We're staying at a friend's house. And went home and got things together for a little get-together we had with my folks and friends and my sister. All that, who all came down for the Coast Guard Festival. They stayed at the Yogi Bear Park in the camper. And let's see, we had good pizza. And it was my mom's birthday, so we celebrated that. Had too much food, too much cake, and ice cream and all that. Then we had grandstand tickets for the finale fireworks for the festival. And that was the most amazing fireworks display I had ever seen in my life. And it was really kind of cool. We were sitting in the grandstands about 20 feet away from the Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Thad Allen. So got to see him. Didn't go up and say hi or anything, but he wouldn't have known who I was anyway. But it was kind of cool seeing him there. But those fireworks were just really, really impressive. And, we were up close and personal. It's probably the closest I've been to a full-blown fireworks display. Other than the time my brother-in-law did fireworks up on Sugar Island. And he does a pretty professional display, although he didn't get paid for it. It was still pretty cool. And we were right up close and personal to that, too. But everything was done in a safe manner. Nobody got hurt, and had a lot of fun. Let's see, what else has been going on? Let's see, I did since the last time I've done Mike Dell's World, I've done a Geek of the North. Finally got the show launched, and that's over at geekofthenorth.com. Episode 2, which was actually the official launch, is up. It's a little rough around the edges, but I think I'll get it all worked out. I think I have all my levels set now and figured out what my issue was. Taking the music off the computer into the mixing board, but I wasn't really paying any attention to what volume level I had the computer at, so I was always wondering, why is the music lower than the voice, or why is the voice lower than the music, and kept fooling around with it. So now I've got it locked down. This should be the final setup. Hopefully it sounds decent. And I'm not going to do any processing to the audio. A lot of times I'll go in there and throw some compression in there and all that. But I think this sounds reasonable enough. And that'll work for now until I get an outboard compressor limiter. Then all bets are off. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Okay, let's see, what else have I been doing? Well, we've been kind of in cleaning mode around the house here. So far, we've completely torn apart the living room and cleaned it, reassembled it. All the electronics, got rid of all the wires and plugs and crap behind the TV that we weren't using, and got everything all cleaned up that way, and got the carpets cleaned. Brought in a new recliner that we'd bought last year that'd been sitting in the garage. Because it was such a pain to get things in and out of this house. But we got the new recliner in there, so now me and the wife have our own recliners in front of the TV. Got that all set up, and while we were at it, we brought in a new refrigerator. Our old one was really old, and there wasn't anything specifically wrong with it, but we got a good deal on a new one, so we brought that in while we had the house all tore apart. Then we proceeded to tear apart the upstairs where the teenager was living while he was here last year. And he's gone back to Florida, going to go to school down there this year, so he won't be back up here except for to visit. And so we completely tore that apart and cleaned it all back up and got everything arranged the way it should be. And And we're in the process of sort of tearing the kitchen apart, kitchen and dining room. It's kind of it's two different rooms, but it's all open to each other. So taking all that's where Kathy's got her computer set up. So got that all cleaned up, and they hooked up a what the hell's this? I gotta break my habit of that. Anybody got any idea how to break that habit? How to break that habit? I don't say all that much anymore, but the ahs or the uhs are getting me. Anyway, hooked up a 26-inch HD TV in the kitchen, and that also doubles as Kathy's computer monitor, which is just fine because she mostly uses the laptop anyway, but that's her desktop. It's there, her Mac Mini. Got that hooked up to the HD TV. I just have to hook up the antenna. Get that so we can actually watch TV in there too. So that'd be kind of cool. Of course, with the I wanted to say Apple TV, the Mac Mini, they're about the same size. The Mac Mini, I can without the drive that HD TV, and using Front Row, I can watch video podcasts both off the machine downstairs, and I think there's a way I can do it with the Apple TV, but I'm not sure. So I forgot to hit my stopwatch again. Isn't that something? Oh well. So whatever it is, I'll just add to it. So anyway, got that hooked up, and that looks wonderful. It's kind of nice seeing a big old 26-inch widescreen monitor, and it's right at the right distance. I think it'll be nice for using the computer up there. Of course, neither one of us use that computer all that much. It's just sort of the machine that sits there. Kathy uses her laptop most of the time. I'm either down here in the studio on the desktop here, or in the easy chair with the laptop. And that seems to work out just fine most of the time. And let's see, still haven't done any motorcycle riding to speak of. Kind of wish I would have, but just been busy. And this weekend's no exception. We've got friends coming in from the Netherlands. They're renting a cottage out on Lake Michigan for the week. And Kathy's taking some vacation to go spend time with them. I'll see them on the weekends and, maybe in the evenings or something. But they're all staying here Friday night, and then they go to the cottage on Saturday. At least that was the last plan I'd heard. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like I said, been keeping busy. When I get done recording here, I'm going to go out and at least start on the lawn mowing. I've got a little bit of time before I need to go to bed, so I'll go mow for half an hour, and that'll get the front half done anyway, and make it look good to the street. Tomorrow I'll go out and do the backyard. But I just felt like putting out a podcast. It's been a while. So anyway, I'm going to play another song here from another artist at Cyber Publicity or Aerial Publicity. It's two different things. Like I said, I'll have a link in the show notes to their page over there, and you can go check them out. But this is Chrissy Coughlin, and I've heard this song before. I'm not sure where I heard it. It might have been on Trucker Tom's podcast, but anyway, it's Wait For You, or I'll Wait For You. I'm not sure if that's what the full title of it is, but it'll be in the show notes.
Well, there's stormy weather up ahead, but I don't give a damn, 'cause I'm prepared for whatever this world gives to me. Oh, I thank the Lord that I can see the difference between right and wrong. just helps me to figure out where I belong. And I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. I don't know what else to do. I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. Just promise me you're gonna follow through. There's this man on the promenade, really shouting about Jesus at the top of his lungs. Well, he says there's no pain in heaven above. So what does that mean for us here down on earth? And I think it's probably good that he's been saved. You're one less sinner out there waiting to be repaid. And I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. I don't know what else to do. I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. Just promise me you're gonna follow through. And we all make our beds, and we all must lie down in them. And so the story goes, we're surrounded by each other, but we're so alone. And I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. I don't know what else to do. I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. Just promise me you're gonna follow through. I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. I don't know what else to do. I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you, I'll wait for you. Just promise me you're gonna follow through.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network. Find freshly picked podcasts just for you at blueberry.com. That's blueberry.com.
Okay, and I looked it up. It's called I'll Wait For You by Chrissy Coughlin. So, anyway, hey, coming up tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, or if you're listening to it on Thursday, it's tonight. Be late tonight, 8 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. I think that's like 2 in the morning Eastern Time, or some ridiculously late hour like that. But anyway, Todd Cochran of Geek News Central is recording his 500th show. Of course, you can pick it up in the podcast feed, anytime after late Thursday night, early Friday morning. But he'll be doing it live on Ustream, like I said, at 8 p.m.-ish, Hawaiian Standard Time, adjust as needed. Like I said, I think it's 2 or 3 in the morning Eastern, and I guess that would be, I don't know, 10 or 11 p.m. California time, something like that. No, it'd be later than that. Anyway, it's quite late. I usually see the tweet while I'm at work, and every once in a while I'll be able to turn on Ustream for a little bit from work, since I work the overnight shift. But yeah, definitely go check that out. He's gonna do some history of his podcast, of Blueberry Network, Raw Voice Company that he started, and Tech Podcast Network, which he's part of there at Geek News Central. He's one of the founders of that. And it should be a good show. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping I'll have time to at least watch part of it on Ustream Live, but yeah, who knows? I sent him in a comment. If you want to send him some sort of comment, geeknews@gmail.com will get it done. It'll get it to him. And he does have a voicemail line, but you have to go over to the website. Check that out at geeknewscentral.com. And as you remember, or maybe not if you haven't been listening that long, I actually guest hosted for Todd on the Geek News Central podcast while he was on vacation in California last year. So that was a lot of fun. Kind of nice to talk to a bigger audience than I'm accustomed to. My 14 listeners or whatever it is. No, I'm kidding. Got more than that, but he's, I believe, over 100,000 each episode, something like that anyway. It's pretty incredible, but, he started it out back, in late 2004, and, he's been around a long time. He's been consistent, and he always has a good show, and it's a lot of fun listening to the Toddisms. He's, English is his first language, but sometimes you never know. Just giving him crap. That's always good to do. So I'm sitting here playing with something else while I should be thinking and talking. Hey, now on a serious note, of course you heard yesterday some sort of wacko went into a Pennsylvania health club and shoots a bunch of people. Here it says he's killed 4, including himself, and injured at least 10 others. And somewhere else I had read that he had fired 52 shots. 52 shots. And my thought on that, how long does it take to fire off 52 rounds? Because you have to reload. There's not very many handguns, or I don't know if it's a handgun or not, but there isn't too many even, semi-automatics that hold 52 rounds. And so, you got to assume I'm assuming he was using a pistol. So with reloading, just how much time was that? Okay. Now, Pennsylvania does have a concealed carry law. Now, if more people, I got an email there. Anyway, more people would carry, I don't think he'd have got 52 rounds off if somebody in that gym had a handgun. You gotta be smart. A comment I heard from one of my relatives, he says, if you're smart enough to protect yourself with insurance, then you should consider the same with a gun. And that's true. Like I said, I'm not, sitting here, talking to you as a complete gun nut and all that. And if you choose not to, that's your business. But I just don't get, I just don't get it. It's like when Virginia Tech happened, there was all these people, that if they would have been carrying, could have took this guy out long before he killed as many people as he did. Same thing with Columbine. Okay, everybody says, "Oh, you can't carry guns in schools." Well, why not? If you're a teacher an adult, and you go through the hoops to get licensed and trained. They allow airline pilots to carry guns on airliners when, if I walked into the secure area of a airport with so much as a bullet in my baggage, everybody would come unglued. But yet an airline pilot can carry in there. And that's fine. I'm not saying I should be able to carry on a jet, but I should, be able to carry if I was a teacher or if a student over the age of 18 at a college or university. Or in the case of this gym, it was totally legal in Pennsylvania with the proper license. Somebody in that gym, or somebody somewhere, somebody everywhere should be carrying a gun. Or if they're not carrying a gun, it should be a deterrent, just the fact that it's legal. And that cuts down on a lot of stuff. In fact, I don't know if I can find the facts to back this up, but in Michigan in the year 2000, they loosened up the laws concerning getting a concealed carry permit. Used to be that each county had a gun board, and they still have the gun board, which is kind of a silly idea because they don't really do much. But each county in Michigan has a gun board. And back before the law changed in 2000, you could get a concealed carry permit. But it was what was known as may issue. And you had to tell them why you needed the permit. And they had, 3 different types of permits. They had a hunting and target permit, which basically means, if you were hunting and it's rainy out, you could throw your coat over your pistol to keep it from getting wet and not get in trouble for carrying concealed. Because you can open carry in Michigan. I've always been able to do that. It's not done all that much, but it's totally legal for me to strap on my Glock and walk right down through downtown Detroit, which, if I was going to downtown Detroit, I might consider. But anyway, they changed the law in the year 2000 to shall issue, and they got rid of the tiered permits. There was, like I said, there was hunting and target. There was a business permit. So like if you owned a store or something, now you could always carry in your store because that's your private property. Same thing with at home. You can carry concealed in your home. You can carry concealed in your place of business without any permits. But what this was for is like if you were going to make deposits at the bank late at night, they would allow you to carry to and from work and to and from the bank and that kind of thing. That was called the business concealed weapons permit. And then they had the general concealed weapons permit, which is, basically carry anywhere. That isn't prohibited by some other law. Well, they did 2 things in 2000. They made that shall issue, which means you apply for a general concealed pistol license, is what they call it. And the gun board shall issue unless they have a compelling reason not to. So you no longer had to justify why you needed the permit. They had to justify why they shouldn't give it to you. And then there's an appeals process and all that. And, basically what it meant was if you were over 21, weren't a criminal, weren't crazy, and, took the training, you had to, it was pretty intensive training when I first got my permit. They've lowered the training standards a little bit. Basically now it's 8 hours of classroom and 3 hours of range time. When I did it, we had 16 hours of classroom plus a legal class, which basically, they went through all the gun laws. And they had to give you a copy of the book. And thought I was getting a phone call, but no, it was just a text message. Anyway, so when I got my permit, it was a much bigger class. It took 3 days basically. Saturday all day, Sunday half a day, and then another Saturday at the range. And we had to fire like 400 rounds. You had to qualify. I don't remember what the standards were, but you had to shoot until you qualified. And so, that was pretty good training. They told you, what you could legally do and all that. But anyway, now there's just one permit. It's just a general concealed pistol license, and they pretty much have to give it to you. It's $125 for a 5-year license, because they have to fingerprint you and all that other happy stuff, which, whatever. I just went through that a week ago Wednesday, the renewal. Had to go to the jail and get fingerprinted, and had to go to the county clerk and pay him $125. But, I don't like the fact that I've got to do that, but I do. So anyway, back to this, story. By the way, it's on the Associated Press, and I don't want to get in trouble with them because, they've been trying to sue bloggers and stuff. So I'm not going to link to the story. You can find it. Just Google it. But, if somebody in there would have had a pistol, somebody would have took this guy out before he killed 4 people and shot 10 others. And, of course, you're going to hear the anti-gun people, or the people that want to be politically correct, say, "Oh, we need to ban guns." Well, you know what? That guy, even if there wasn't even a gun in existence, I mean, if just magically every gun in the world vaporized and there was no such thing anymore, he would have walked in there with a propane tank and a Bic lighter, or he would have drove a car through the wall, or he would have went in there with a knife, or, there's just a 1,000 different things. So anybody that's bent on that kind of violence is going to do it anyway, regardless of whether there's guns available or not, whether there's this or that. Guns pretty efficient. I got to give it that. But it's not the gun. I mean, the gun is a tool. You just look at the screwdriver in your toolbox. You get one of them nice, 10-inch screwdrivers. You can choose to use that to drive screws in and out, or like most people do, pry on stuff or open paint cans or whatever. But there's another email. Anyway, that tool is just a tool, and used properly or even improperly, it's not dangerous. But then somebody intent on doing, violence can take that same screwdriver and kill people with it. Same thing with your car. You got 4,000 or 5,000 pounds of metal, depending on what kind of car you have, going down the road. You can drive responsibly and not hurt anybody, or you could drive it into a crowd of people at 60 miles an hour and probably kill more than 10 people. So, when that happens, you don't hear people wanting to ban cars. So why would you want to ban pistols? I haven't heard any of that yet, but I'm sure some politician or some freaked out activist, anti-gunner, will, we need to ban this, we need to ban that because of this incident. Yeah, that's what happened with, the Columbine thing. It screwed up Michigan's concealed carry reform. It screwed it up for, I think, a year or two. Because, they didn't want to pass pro-gun legislation during, the aftermath of that. Funny thing, I started on that story and I'm all off in another direction, but like the thing I couldn't prove is in Detroit, used to have a big problem with carjacking. People would pull up to an intersection and somebody'd jump up and stick a gun in your face and tell you to get out of your car, or worse yet, scoot over or drive somewhere. But anyway, the carjacking was a big problem in Detroit. About September of 2000, the carjacking rates started to go down. And now you rarely ever hear of a carjacking anymore. because even the criminals know that there's, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 people in the state of Michigan that are licensed to carry. So right there, just that fact alone deters a lot of crime. And so far, I think it's 42 states now have shall issue concealed carry. It's all but, I think, 2 states. I think it's Wisconsin. Oh, no, 3 states. Wisconsin, Illinois, and Hawaii that have absolutely no legal concealed carry. And, even New York City, of course you got to be a politician or something, or whatever, you can get a concealed carry. And upstate New York, which is anything other than New York City, it's fairly easy to get a concealed carry permit. California, with the exception of Los Angeles and San Francisco Bay Area, it's really easy to get a concealed carry permit. 2 states, you're not even required to have a permit to carry. Believe it or not, Vermont is one of them. And Alaska. Now, Alaska does have a concealed carry permit, but it's optional. And the only reason it's optional is because other states won't recognize your right to carry. Now, like with my permit from Michigan, I can carry in, I think, 32 states on my Michigan permit legally. It's kind of handy. So if I'm driving somewhere, like I went to Ohio for Podcamp Ohio, I could legally carry my handgun in the state of Ohio and all along the route. So, it's peace of mind for me. Like I said, I'm not some wacko gun nut. It's, I've got a fire extinguisher because, hey, the house might catch on fire. Or I've got car insurance. Hey, I might get in an accident. I've got, I wear a helmet when I ride my motorcycle. It's just another preventative tool. Who knows? I might walk into a 7-Eleven and somebody might try to rob the place and he might point a gun at me and try to kill me or try to kill the clerk. And if I can stop that somehow, I might just try. But I'm definitely not a Rambo either. So, who knows? If it's safer for me to shoot than to not shoot, then I'll shoot. If it's safer for me to not shoot, I won't shoot. I mean, I'm not looking to shoot anybody, but, if it's me or him, then, so be it. As somebody once said, never bring a knife to a gunfight. So if I'm going to protect myself, the gun is the most efficient way. Anyway, enough of that soapbox. I just, that stuck in my craw because of this AP story. Oops, I can't say AP. They're going to sue me. Anyway, that's ridiculous too. So, all right, well, geez, we got 26 minutes since I started the stopwatch, and I've got to believe I've had a few more minutes before that. So, I'm going to play one more song, and I'll be back to finish it off. This one refers to, it's kind of funny, it's Jonathan Colton, and it refers to Pluto not being a planet anymore. So anyway, it's called I'm Your Moon.
They invented a reason, and that's why it stings. They don't think you matter because you don't have pretty rings. I keep telling you I don't care. I keep saying there's one thing they can't change. I'm your moon, you're my moon. We go round and round. From out here, it's the rest of the world that looks so small. Promise me you will always remember who you are. Let them shuffle the numbers. watch them come and go. We're the ones who are out here, out past the edge of what they know. We can only be who we are. Doesn't matter if they don't understand. I'm your moon, you're my moon. We go round and round. From out here, it's the rest of the world that looks so small. Promise me you will always remember who you are, who you were, long before they said you were no more. Sad excuse for a sunrise. It's so cold out here. Ice and silence and dark skies as we go round another year. Let them think what they like, we're fine. I will always be right here next to you. I'm your moon, you're my moon. We go round and round. From out here, it's the rest of the world that looks so small. Promise me you will always remember who you are.
And that was Jonathan Colton off of his Thing a Week podcast. It's called I'm Your Moon. Like I said, referring to Pluto no longer being a moon. So, anyway, I'm going to get out of here, call this a podcast, get it uploaded, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out Todd Cochran's 500th Geek News Central over at geeknewscentral.com. And go check out Geek of the North over at geekofthenorth.com. And like I said, I'll have all the bugs worked out of that in the next few shows. So if you'd like to hear me ramble on about airplanes, radios, and other whatnots that are not computers or cell phones. In fact, I'm about ready to throw this BlackBerry out the window if it don't keep chirping. I should... Or if it doesn't stop chirping, that's what I meant to say. Because I really should put that on vibrate when when I'm recording. But hey, this is Mike Dell's World. By the way, have you noticed some of my tweets now, instead of saying from the web or from TweetDeck, say from Mike Dell's World? I wonder what planet that's circling around. That must be Mike Dell's World must be a moon. Anyway, so that's it. Catch me later. If you want to drop me a voicemail, the new voicemail line is 231-715-1366. That's 231-715-1366. And like I said, next weekend, got visitors in town. The following weekend is the Sugar Island Fest. And this year I'm equipped to record, so I'm going to probably, record some of the Music Fest and maybe put out some music. That'd be kind of fun. I'm bringing my banjo. Don't know whether it'll stay in the case all weekend or not, but I'm bringing it. And so that'll be fun. So anyway, catch me later. What was that? Stupid second hard drive wasn't spooled up, and that's where that sound clip is. So let's try that again. Catch me later.
That's all, folks.
Bye-bye.